I'd like now to recognize my friend from North Carolina, Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank all of you on the panel for being a part of this today and your expertise. And I apologize for being in and out, but other committee meetings required. The most important political issue of today is how to ensure that our economy works for everyday Americans, not against them. We know that Bidenomics doesn't work, and under President Trump, this Republican Congress is working. We're building an economy that unleashes opportunity for everyone. For too long, I'm convinced that Washington has been pushing a one-size-fits-all idea that every young person has got to follow the same path, chase the same degree, or travel the same road just to find a job. But that's not the American way. And our nation was built by men and women whose skill, grit, God-given talent created the greatest engine of prosperity that the world has ever seen. Reading your testimonies coming in here, today's hearing, obviously, of the Learning and Employment Records, or LERs, is premised upon the idea that there's a better way to communicate what a job applicant is capable of rather than just sharing a resume. It's rooted in the idea that focusing on a person's skills and using technology can fix a problem that both employees and employers have in today's job market. So, Mr. Kaplan, if you may, because we have to be able to explain this back to our constituents back home, from an employer's perspective, what problem in the hiring process were LERs actually designed to solve?
The primary problem that they were designed to solve is to provide the employer much more granular information about an individual and the skills that they have that they could verify and have confidence so that they would make a decision on it. And so this provides efficiency into the talent marketplace and talent management system. Another important part of it from an employer perspective is to open up the aperture for the kind of candidates who would be qualified for their jobs so that they can look at the entire continuum of people, whether they have a college degree, whether they're in the military, whether they've collected experience in their own lives, and be able to present that in a way that an employer can recognize that it matches to jobs. And finally, it was also meant to encourage employers themselves to understand the skills and competencies people need to be successful in their jobs and to articulate those skills and competencies to the market and to people so that they know, if I want to try and get this job, here are the skills and competencies that I need.
Can you give a basic example of how a human resources system or hiring platform might read a learning and employment record?
Sure. So the way it would work today is not dissimilar to what they're doing with a resume. So now, pretty much, an AI algorithm is receiving that resume, and they're extracting out of it skills, and they're matching those skills to the employer's job description. So that's sort of the world of it today. And it's a pretty rough cut when they do that. What we're trying to get through by moving towards validated and verified learning and employment records is that rather than trying to extract and understand what's in a resume, an individual can present verified and validated information to the HR manager and recruiter so they can see that direct, match and they can make decisions based upon that.
Thank you. Mr. Pulsifer, your institution has obviously led the way on getting college students set up with LERs. What problem would you say from a new graduate's perspective can an LER actually solve?
Yeah, I think the primary thing, and we've seen this in the data of the now more than 60,000 of our students are actually utilizing, is the number one thing they're using is the career navigation capabilities that now affords them, so that now they know they have a degree or a credential. But what they don't directly know is what are all the jobs for which my particular credential with all the competencies, which ones am I already able to actually apply for because I can demonstrate the readiness? And so the benefits that they're gaining now is that they get visibility to all the roles at different employers in my specific kind of search area, my geolocation, then now I can see, in fact, which are the ones I'm ready for. What they can also see is if I see jobs I do want, but I may not yet have a complete skill match against, it also will surface to them additional learning journeys that they can take to acquire those skills. So that's the number one thing they're seeing. They're actually getting greater kind of control of their own career navigation.
Okay. Would you say that's the most promising early outcome you've seen from WGU students using the digital skills record?
I think on the individual side, like that is very promising because it's giving the individual the confidence that they can now declare their competency into the workforce. Now, one of the really other promising thing, it is definitely doing what you've heard here, is employers are now seeing a much broader talent pool than they were seeing previously. This is to your earlier point, which is there are many individuals who possess the skills and competencies they needed, but it didn't come in the form of a degree. They're seeing a much broader talent pool.
Excellent. Well, again, thank all of you for being here as part of that, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Thank you.